You are listening to the award-winning The Young Jurks with Mike Crawford.
Another meeting, office hours on Tuesday, just remind people from 6 to 8, it will be held here. And then we'll discuss the open discussion. Well, we're not silencing everything. We're not, this is
Compo. So I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
meeting been, motion been made and seconded. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
5-0, we're adjourned. Thank you.
How you select me, you can bully women. You can bully women and talk to them on the street. They call them whores and losers, but you can't face them here. Chris Albert, you're a murderer. You're a fucking...
Welcome, Mike Crawford. That was the scene at the end of the Canton Select Board meeting earlier this week on the September 26th. Crazy meeting. They shut down free speech. They acted illegally. I believe the Board of Selectmen, that is not legal not to allow public comment at your Board of Selectmen meeting, especially when you're in the middle of a crisis. That's just crazy to do that. But that's exactly what happened. As I was saying, they shut down free speech. I think they broke the law. I think the ACLU needs to get involved. They don't allow public comment during a huge crisis for their town. Got to talk about that tonight. There's a lot to talk about tonight. Got to take some phone calls, maybe some guests call in, hopefully. We'll see. We started a couple minutes early because I want to get in, what we have tonight, because I know a lot of people want to watch Turtle Boy later at 9 p.m. He's got a special show tonight. So we did start a little bit earlier, but I wanted to go back to Free Karen Reed. We're doing that. We're going forward with raising money on this show. 50% of all donations tonight on the Cash App and through Venmo. We're going to be donating to the Karen Reed Defense Fund. I want to thank you, all the new donors and subscribers we've been getting lately, especially the ones that have been kicking in for our Free Karen Reed fundraisers, which we're doing again tonight. So you can donate on the Cash App. It's Mike Crawford 1 or Venmo, Mike Crawford TYJ. And we're going to post the amount that we raised on the last fundraiser for Karen Reed later on the show. You're going to see that number. We've been posting every time we make the, donations that you guys give us. We post those up so you can see how much is raised. Very exciting. Very happy to do that. And we're getting a little pushback, from it was just amazing this week, because we're not going to talk all about Karen Reed throughout the whole show. We're going to actually talk about some other corruption in cannabis in Massachusetts, but definitely talk about Karen Reed tonight. But one of the things that I'm noticing is after this crazy select board meeting where they shut down public comment, people went crazy. Chris Albert looked like a fool. Turtle Boy held up the signs. There were so many signs. There was a guy in a chicken suit there. I mean, there was a lot going on there. People in the parking lot acted like jackasses. Chris Albert running away. Just so much going on. And it was just we played our video. We played the live stream from that on our channel, YouTube, and it got an enormous amount of views, immediately. And it just funny, even on the replay, it's the moment where the woman says, F and you, she starts swearing, the video, it freezes. And that's exactly what happened on the Canton website too. It's just, there was so much interest in that. And to feel the pushback, there's been a lot of pushback since then. And to obviously Turtle Boy and Aiden with the state police, we're going to talk about that tonight. But even with the troll accounts, so much going on. And even the ones like Coffin Daffer, I think we need to push back again against them like we did on the last show. So we're going to have some of that tonight too on the show. We're going to have a segment of that.
I'm not like I was saying to you, I think in our messages, I'm not completely in tune with this. I'm a little bit confused by, I think, a lot of the key players. I understand some of the like the Chris Alberts. Like I understand like some of the people who are being blamed for the cover up, but I don't know. Like for me, it's dragging on a little bit too long. I pay attention to it, and then I don't. So So is the court? So what was the thing that happened a few weeks ago? So they basically just kept moving the case forward, and then now it's going to be going to trial, and it's going to be what, in March or something?
Well, that's the thing. Like every time we go to court, they're asking for evidence from the prosecution that they don't have. So it's like it keeps getting delayed because the prosecution can't give you know what I mean? Like there's so much data and collection and forensics, like just the hair. Did you see about the hair thing?
No, I missed
human
that.
hair?
I'm sorry.
Well, so they're like the prosecutions kept saying that they found human hair on
Their bumper?
the bumper of the car, right?
Yeah.
And so when the DNA came back, they said, well, we can't conclude it's human hair. So now they want to redo it. Like so much
Right.
shit like that, just like drag it on. And
Yeah.
it's like a lot of it's revealing that the prosecution lies, or
Yeah.
that the prosecution, like, why is it so delayed on a lot of this stuff? Like even the cell phone stuff and the data, and there's a lot of strangeness to this. And it's almost like, I don't know.
So do you have the stamina? You love the case a lot, right? You have the
I feel
stamina
like
to
they're
sort of
dragging out
follow
to
it?
try to bankrupt her. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
their goal.
they mentioned that, right? And does anyone have any insight as to how she's doing with the fundraising? I know you obviously are helping to contribute, but
We just hit over $200,000.
Yeah.
So that's huge. And the goal is 250. And there's a major event coming up in Malden. Nick
Mhm.
Rocco and crew, we're going to talk about that tonight.
Mhm.
They're doing a big fundraiser in Malden coming up. So, and we're raising money every day. And they're also
Yeah.
doing raffles. If you join the groups, Justice for John O'Keefe, Karen Reed, Turtle Boy Official, you'll see a lot of the raffles and fundraisers they're doing too. So,
Yeah.
I
And-
think the money helps. So many people are donating. It's unbelievable. KarenReed.net or freekarenreed.net is the website. If you want to just 100% of your money to go to Karen Reed, just you can go
Mhm.
to that website and do it there. If you want to do some money to us tonight, we're giving 50% of our donations to Karen Reed too through Venmo and the Cash App.
Nice. Yeah, I'll retweet
If
that.
we get any, sometimes we don't get any. Let's see. It's all right. You know, people give
Well,
what they can when they can.
And Turtle Boy's going to do a show. You said at 9:00 tonight. Is he going
Yes.
live? Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a live show at 9, I believe. Yep.
Is it usually just he does it not Sundays though, right? Isn't he usually just a Saturday guy or a Friday?
Yeah, it
Was
changes.
Tuesday?
Usually he
Oh.
had his like regular nights, but then he changes
Yeah.
it for like family or something with the
Gotcha.
case. So I think this was a family thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it tonight. I again, I know these are all serious issues, but to me, it's still entertainment, right? Like if I can remove myself from the seriousness of the fact that they're trying to cover up murder, like I do appreciate Turtle Boy and his antics and the things that he pulls. Like it's serious, it's hilarious though. It does.
It's funny because
It's-
you
it's
bring the
entertainment.
entertainment part of it. That's what he has going for him in a lot
Yeah.
of respect too. It's like
Totally.
the WWE aspect of it, but
Yeah.
like this time it's really serious. Like a lot of his
Yeah.
stories. I mean, I think that's an asset. I don't think people realize because I cover a lot of the same kind of tragic stories, like maybe not the same ones, but like the Lorna McMurray.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is good to just kind of have like a little fun with it, I guess,
Yeah.
even though it's hard. Like, how can I have fun with Lorna McMurray? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, so, I mean, this
Yeah.
one is nice because you get the villains. I mean, I guess that's with Lorna McMurray, we had Kim Rivers from True Leaf. So, I mean, that's where I think you have fun is with the villains. Hopefully,
Yeah.
there are a lot
right.
of villains in this one. In
God, man,
Canton.
they make themselves. It's like there's such.
Cartoon characters.
It's just it's so incredible. Like they're basically just like writing a script, right? They couldn't have been more villainous. Like it's like they should have like an evil laugh, like ooh, ooh. Like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm happy to be on here anytime that you want. Anytime, message me. I hope that I'm not boring the hell out of your audience.
No, we got over 100
Um,
people listening. So I mean,
All right, good.
they've
Well,
they've stuck around, but a lot of them have said they want to get to the Karen Reed shit.
yeah, talk about that shit. When you want to
Yeah.
get back to weed and things like that, growing weed. If you ever want to talk about that, you invite me back
Definitely.
on. But
I got two guests in the green room I'm going to bring up right now. So
All right,
thank
well,
you
I'm-
so
I'm-
much, Eric.
no problem, brother. I'll keep listening. So thanks, guys. Thanks you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, Mike.
And I wanted to talk about we're going right to Karen Reed stuff, definitely. Thank you so much, Eric Hayes. Follow Eric Hayes on Twitter too. He's a good guy. But I want to talk about this crazy. hearing that went on. Can we bring them up? Oh, we got Jennifer and we have Nick Rocco. What's up?
What's going on?
How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. I know everyone wants to give their time and then go watch Turtle Boy.
I'll have it on my TV so I can watch it and be here at the same time.
Awesome. You're the man. Thank
We're
you.
good.
So I guess let's talk about the fundraising, Nick, because there has been a lot of fundraising. You got billboards. Tell everyone what's going on and about the event coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot going on right now. I just launched the new bracelets. So where's the camera? So we got new black bracelets for sale. These are $10 a piece. All these payments are going to be going to the defense fund. Also, we got the new keychains. So these are new. We didn't have these last time. So we got keychains now. You can hook your keys onto it. They look very similar to the bracelets, except you can hook your key on it. What else we got? We got a new giveaway I just launched today. It's about like almost $700, $600 worth of jewelry. I don't know if you saw that yet. Some turquoise stones, and I'm not sure exactly what the other one is, but a woman in the group had sent me these. So I wanted to, considering that a lot of people who sold the popcorn were women and they got entries into the giveaway, I wanted to make it not necessarily sports related, but something that they might like as well, because they have 15 entries into that giveaway.
It's awesome. There's a lot of women in the group. I noticed a lot of women supporters of this cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as this event goes, I think there's about like 85 tickets left out of 250. They're $35 a piece. As you see, we're gonna have a DJ there. Someone actually just bought a fog machine for me, so that's coming to the house. So we'll spice up the party a little bit.
Is he going?
You coming, Mike? I know you said your schedule is hard, but
I can't commit yet, but I mean, I would love to go. Hopefully
Yeah.
I can. I don't want to promise people I'll be there, then not, let them down. So
I got you.
I'm trying.
The photo booth, actually, we got, so we have it for 2 hours. Marcel from the group, who I believe used to work with Karen, he donated the money so we can get that photo booth. If you guys aren't familiar with what a 360 photo booth is, it's a 17-second video. It's going to have the Free Karen Reed logo on it, and it's going to play the song Tick Tick Boom. So it spins around in a circle. Everybody's, I think 3 or 4 people can stand, depending on how big you are. You can stand on the platform, and it does a video. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Also, someone ordered a 5.5 foot cutout Michael Proctor to also take pictures with. So he'll be there. Chloe will be there. I just bought a blow up German Shepherd, so Chloe's gonna be there. So we're gonna meet all new people there this time, and dogs.
Awesome. Chloe's gonna be there. I want to get a picture with Chloe too.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't bite me, Chloe. I'll bring some treats for you. Those scratches on the arms. I've had scratches on the arms from dogs. Yeah, that's funny because it's the claw. When I look at that picture, it looks like scratches I've had right on my arm, like from dogs. I'm a dog walker, so
even my dog, I have a black lab. He jumps up and on the kids, and they get those claw marks,
right.
and they get the raised bumps and things like that. And one thing I saw a lot of people talking about John's, how he didn't have any bites on the under his arm. And just for example, my daughter got bit by a Rottweiler, punctured right through the top of her hand, but nothing on the bottom of her hand. There wasn't even a red mark. It was just the top of her hand. So, I mean, dogs bite different. Every dog is going to, if it doesn't latch on to you, you're not going to, you might not have those bites on the bottom, just the top.
Exactly. That's most bites too. Like most bites I've ever had, it's just like, let go. They usually don't. I don't know. I've never had a serious bite. So
No, I haven't either.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. It's Saturday night, October 28th at 6 p.m. It's at the Malden Moose Club, 562 Broadway, Malden, Mass. You got a cash bar, costume party, dancing, DJ. that whole 360 photo booth with the boom. What is it?
The tick tick boom
Tick
song.
tick boom. Yeah, I love that song. I keep asking meaning like every time Aiden comes on to ask him like who created those videos and those songs for him. We gotta find
The
out.
song is
You know?
actually a song. Like
What
if
is
you-
it?
The song is like there's an artist to the song.
Really?
Yeah, if you just go on YouTube and search "Tick Tick Boom," it's an actual song. I think the woman from London that he has, who runs the Turtle Boy page, does all his videos as well. Like who created that video and put all the pictures together and stuff.
She's great. Those videos are awesome. Like I get all pumped up when
I know. Yeah, I'm
the
serious.
show's starting.
If anybody wants to donate raffles for this event, you can reach out to me on Facebook, send me a message of what you're thinking. We got about 5 or 6 right now. But obviously the more the better, because then more people can win things.
I'm working on one for you, Nick.
You are? Okay. Send me a message when you're all done with this. But yeah, then we'll do a 50-50. Turtle Boy's coming, so he'll be there. I'm curious to see what he's going to dress up as.
It'll be interesting.
You think he'll come as a turtle, or is that too original?
I think he'll probably come as whoever he's most mad at the moment.
Yeah, that's
Probably one of those cops, Bukaki.
Oh, he's something else, huh?
We're gonna talk about Bukaki. What do you think about these guys? Because now they're going after people. Like I felt like after that select board hearing, there was just it was so overwhelming. Like the select board screwed up, the Chris Albert side screwed up, and then the next few days it felt like a major pushback through their trolls on Twitter, more accounts being created.
Yeah,
it felt like they pushed back, and I feel like mostly it's failed. I mean, they created a new Facebook group that they keep pausing. Like it's like they are going after Turtle Boy, the police, whoever that dispatcher is. I mean, that's horrible. That's gonna be horrible to somebody. What do you think about all that?
It's you want to talk about that, Jennifer?
Well, I am in that group. I will confess, because I think it's important to keep track of what's happening in our town right now. I'm not commenting in there, but I am just kind of keeping track of what's happening in it. Canton's a weird place to be these days.
Oh, I see a sign in the back there.
Question. Yeah, that's from the first rally at the courthouse. So it's a little bit rained on. Some of the letters ran a little bit, but
yeah, I noticed some more fake accounts.
A lot of them.
Yeah. I personally, my thing with those fake accounts is when people fight with them, it gives them more, what's the word I'm looking for?
More traction,
more importance and more relevance.
Yeah.
Versus if they make a comment and they get ignored, they're gonna eventually go away because they're not baiting anybody, they're not getting anybody. You know what I mean? So when I see them, yeah, it really aggravates me. But it's like there's no point of fighting with these people because that's what they want, right? They want a reaction out of you, and if you give them relevance, they're just gonna keep going.
Pretty much, I think. I mean, unless you have a show like Turtle Boy or even our show, we can kind of expose them a little bit, which we've started to do on some of them. But it's so true, Nick, because I have some tweets that I started a week ago where I haven't even responded, but people are just fighting. It's just they go back and forth all day. Every time I wake up, there's another 100 responses. It's it's not helping anybody. They're just wasting people's time mostly. And I agree. It's especially on Twitter, it's I'm not going to respond to I don't know whoever these people are. They're especially on Twitter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with me is if you're a real person and you believe, I mean, nothing's going to change my mind, right? Unless there's actual video of Karen backing into John. That's the only thing that's an actual house, Ring camera showing something like that happening. That's the only way I'm ever going to believe that she is guilty. But if someone with a real name and a real profile believes she's guilty, I'm willing to listen to them because I'm willing to listen to them because maybe I can talk to them about it or give them my side of why I think she's not guilty. But like the ones who are, no profile picture or like, a meme picture, like there's no point. You don't even know who you're talking to. It's
true.
Well, they're just looking to instigate. And unfortunately, there are instigators coming from all sides. And, we appreciate what Turtle Boy has done hugely, but he does have people who go and just kind of dig in just to see what kind of a reaction they'll get to. That's happening everywhere. And the good thing about the people who are digging in, who are motivated by what they hear Turtle Boy saying, is that at least they're not trolling us and threatening us.
Have you been receiving threats? Because you're a Canton resident. You've been
Yes.
protesting.
Yep.
from like actual people or fake accounts.
Yeah. What kind of threats? What are we talking about?
For the most part, some of us have received threats from actual people. Some of us have people, some of the people who've lived in Canton for a really long time have received threats from family and friends trying to get them to back off. The threats that I've received have been from fake accounts, but that isn't true for everybody. It hasn't worked. None of us have stepped back. But, this is our town. This is where we live. And we feel like some really bad things are happening here. So we're going to keep speaking out as long as we all have voices. And as long as there continue to be this many problems, we're going to keep speaking.
And what about the free speech issue? Because the select board shut everyone's speech down. People weren't happy about it. There's been a lot of letters to the editor written in newspapers locally in Canton.
Yep.
It seems like it's the talk of the town. What do you think is going to happen from here? Are they going to ever allow you to have public comment again? Or
Well, Tom Theodore tells us that it was just temporary so that everyone had a chance to simmer down. He said, never in the history of the world have people calmed down by being told to calm down. But that's what he decided was going to be the best course of action. They tell us it's temporary. They tell us that it will come back once things have had a chance to even out a little. They offered up this office hour, but it won't be on the record as far as we know. It will, it's not going to be broadcast. It's not going to be recorded. And as far as we know, not all of the members of the select board are going to be there. So
what a joke. So it's not public comment.
It's not public
so they
comment.
shut your public comment down. Do they know that's illegal? Do they know that they're probably going to end up having to spend money because they broke the law?
The Massachusetts open meeting law, we've checked it out thoroughly, does not require public comment. It does encourage public comment. The question that we have that we haven't gotten an answer to yet is that given the fact that at the meeting before that, they had voted on this policy that gave us a public comment policy, can they just stop it without any kind of discussion? They took a vote. This is going to happen. How can they just make it go away? We don't know if that part is legal. It's not illegal to not have public comment, but it's strongly discouraged. And I know that there have been other towns that have tried to stop it and that the ACLU has stepped in and strongly encouraged them to change their minds, and they have.
Has the ACLU said anything about this? Have you heard anything about that?
I personally have not. I know that people have reached out to them. I don't know yet what the outcome of that is.
What do you expect next? Do you think there's going to be more
Well,
of
you know,
this next meeting?
we were at this last meeting with tape over our mouths, and there was a chicken in the corner, and Aiden almost ended up in Colin Albert's lap if he leaned over any further. So it's hard to imagine what's going to happen next.
I know,
I
right?
certainly didn't imagine that it was going to look like this now. So
There's the chicken. That's John Como from Canton Confidential as the chicken man.
Oh, that's who it was.
Yep.
Yep. That's me on the right. That's the other Jennifer on the left. Yeah.
I think John's got some plans. I think something. We'll see. I don't think if John came as a chicken this time, what do you think he might do next time?
I would tell you, but then he might kill me. So.
Exactly. I think I might already be dead. I think I might already given too much away. Don't give secrets to a guy that does a talk show, especially about chicken suits and stuff like that.
But it was, it was a crazy meeting. And part of the problem that we've got right now is that the problems in Canton have gone so far beyond whatever happened at 34 Fairview. It and I don't want to diminish what happened to John O'Keefe, and I don't want to diminish what's happening now to Karen Reed, because I think that they're both really important things to talk about and to keep light on and to keep pressure. But we are, as a town, dealing with some other issues that have all gotten tied together, and they aren't necessarily all the same thing.
Exactly.
We didn't. People think that he asked Turtle Boy to come to our select board meeting. He did that all on his own. No one tells him what to do. He does what he wants to do. We did not ask him to come. We didn't ask him for help. We do appreciate what he's done, but for him, this is a job, and for us, it's our lives. So when he's moved on to the next job, we're still going to be here.
Hopefully, you'll be in a better place.
That's the hope. We've got some plans in place to try and make things better for the town in general. And they don't have to address it for Wicked Psyched. They have to take your request into consideration, but they don't have to put your item on the agenda. We've learned a lot about how the select board works in the past few weeks.
Awesome. And Nick, I silenced you because there was some background noise coming out, but I know you probably got some. Do you want to share anything else before you take off and watch Turtle Boy tonight?
Yeah. The last thing about the Weymouth billboard is that, so the local signed off on it. The head real estate signed off on it. They told me that on Thursday, and they said, again, this is what they're telling me, that it's supposed to be up tomorrow. And, I know they've told me a couple days here and there, and I've told you guys multiple times, different days. I'm just relaying the message from them. Tomorrow, since everything's signed off on now, it should be up tomorrow. And then they're going to work on the free one that they're going to give us in Boston. So, don't shoot the messenger. Tomorrow it should be up. If anything changes, again, I'll let everyone know. But other than that, I hope a lot of people can come to the fundraiser on the 28th. I think it's going to be a good time. So out of the ticket sales, $1,500 is going to be used for the food, and then other than that, there's going to be about over $7,000 just in ticket sales alone. That's going to be going to Karen, and then whatever we make from the raffles and Taste Great Cakes is going to be there selling cakes and cookies again. And I know a few people were asking about the lawn signs. So I'm trying to get Kate to come, or if anybody else has lawn signs that want to come and sell them there. As long as 100% of the proceeds are going to Karen, we're open to other people selling things there. It just makes it a lot easier, especially with, a lot of new people joining this group who want to get involved and want to do things. I think it's important that we know a little bit about them, because obviously things happen, right? When money is involved, things happen. And I try to avoid any of that. So, if people do want to help out and sell things, let me know. But most likely we would have to do something where it's like 100% of the proceeds are going to Karen's defense fund.
Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I hope
Halloween
you can
party.
make it, dude. Hope you can make it.
I'm going to try.
If we sell out of tickets and you plan on coming, let me know. Yeah, we'll save you a seat.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick.
All right, man.
And
Have a
where
good
can
night,
people
guys.
get? Where can people? It's just the Facebook group. Like, where can people, if they want tickets right now to that, find it?
If they go on eventbrite.com and just search Karen Reed Halloween fundraiser, they can go on there, or they can go to your Facebook. I know you shared the event page.
That's right.
It's in the featured section of the Facebook page. It's also, Turtle Boy posted it, Clarence Woods Emerson posted it. So there's a lot of places you can find it. I know a few people, like one woman, she bought 10 tickets and gave them out to people, to people who couldn't really afford it or something like that wanted to go. So and I think there are a few other people who do have tickets that are going to be giving them away as well. So if there's anybody who, might not be able to afford it, you can send me a message. I can link you up with the people who are giving tickets away for free. My name is Nick Rocco on Facebook, so you can find me there. If not, right on the website there, Eventbrite.
Awesome. Thank you so much what you're doing, Nick Rocco, for Karen Reed Defense Fund. It's going to be an awesome event. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I hope you can make it. Jennifer, do you plan on coming, or is it a little too far?
I can't be there that night, but like I said, I've got some raffle stuff I'm pulling together for you.
Okay.
I'll be there in spirit.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Have a good night.
You too. And we're still with Jennifer too. She's one of the effing random citizens from Canton.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? I mean, when is the next hearing? I know that they're supposed to do the thing on Tuesday. It's like one-on-one, which is ridiculous. But when's the next actual hearing? In like 2 weeks?
The next select board meeting is the following week. So
okay,
not this Tuesday, the following Tuesday.
The following Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
It is. It is. And we'll all be there. I can't promise that I'll be there with tape on my mouth again. That wasn't that much fun.
Yeah. Do you think they'll let you guys speak this time?
Much fun either. So
do you think they'll let people speak this time?
Well, you heard the question at the end of the last meeting, right before the uproar. Will the commoners be allowed to speak? He certainly has a way with words. That they still have not decided if they're going to let us speak yet or not. But we'll see. They're going to hear eventually. They can't keep us quiet forever.
I know, right?
And if they try to keep us quiet for too long, they're going to hear from us in April when we vote, maybe before then.
What do you think about to go to some other jokers beyond the select board? What do you think about these two jokers we have on the screen, Bukaki and Proctor, who are now going after Turtle Boy sources? They're subpoena, they're going after people's phones, not the Albert phones or the McCabe phones. They're going after someone that tipped off Turtle Boy. They're going after their phone and doing a subpoena for their phone. What do you think about that?
There's a level of sort of behind the scenes that happens in journalism, and I think that it's going to backfire on them. I really do. You know, I think that every journalist has their sources, and that it's a bad precedent to set to go after them like that. And I think it's going to backfire on them.
I do too, but unfortunately, I think someone's going to be punished for it. You know, I think this person that they're going to, you know, that they subpoenaed their phone is probably going to lose a job and get in trouble. And for what? So these two state troopers can make more fools of themselves than they already have. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know who's behind all of the memes there, but
yeah,
they're
these are from Canton Confidential.
yeah.
They're anonymous posts on Canton Confidential. We love them. So I've
Yes.
been, here's another one. Oh, actually, let's go through some of these. There's this about Jennifer McCabe's car. She was at Proctor's house this week. This is how this scandal started with, you know, Turtle Boy got a picture of the car, and then a few people ran the license plates. One of the people, apparently Yuri, the guy on the left here,
Yep.
Bukaki, he went and subpoenaed their phone, and it's basically going to press charges, it sounds like, against the person who ran the license plates for Turtle Boy, which is just like they're looking for crimes to investigate against Turtle Boy now, to harass Turtle Boy. They're not trying to investigate a crime, a real crime, not a killing, a murder. They're trying to investigate the journalist. And here's these two guys. Here's Bukaki and Proctor again. Proctor says, "I don't know the McAlberts," and there they all are. All the McAlberts. I like that. The McAlberts. Put both names together. Make it easy. Here's all the pictures of the McAlberts there with Proctor and his family.
This is part of the thing that I don't understand, is that regardless of how someone feels about Karen Read, whether they think she's innocent or she had an unfortunate, horrible accident, or they think she ran John O'Keefe over on purpose, regardless of what they think about that, if you look at just the police work that happened that night, it's horrible. It's there's so many questions and holes in it, and that's one of the things that we've asked repeatedly of the select board and of the police department, of the chief. You know, what are the, you know, fine, you can't talk about the case. That's great. Don't talk about the case. Tell us what the procedures are that the police department follows in any investigation. That's not a secret. That has nothing to do with the actual case, and they won't answer that question either.
Cover up mode.
So, you know, even if you think that Karen Read is guilty, doesn't the question of why they won't answer those things bother you? Doesn't the fact that the crime scene was left unsecured bother you? Doesn't the fact that none of the video footage from the neighborhood was collected bother you? Those are all things that you hear about happening in other places in events where there's a question of whether there was a crime committed or not. Why did they not happen here?
And the library footage missing.
Yeah.
We're missing library footage. Oh, we're just missing a couple minutes when Karen Read drove by with the tail light.
Yeah. So, you know, if there's absolutely nothing that happened, even in terms of a cover-up, even if it was just horribly screwed up police practice and IT practice and all of that, don't we want to make those things better for our town?
Right.
So why aren't you answering them?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's so many issues like that. Just the basics. Like when Sean on the Golf came on, it's like the first thing he said is they didn't follow any procedures. The basics of law enforcement.
And that's disturbing to those of us who continue to live here and who, I was brought up to trust the police. I never questioned whether or not I could trust the person on the other end of a 911 call.
Do you know about Jennifer Coffindaffer?
I know some things about her. I don't know a whole lot.
Why do you think that she is so ignoring that? Like, you got Sean on the golf, who was former DEA, who noticed right away they didn't follow procedure. And you got this former FBI agent who basically doesn't want to hear anything that supports Karen Reed. And like the basics that we just talked about, she's supposed to be law enforcement. She won't look at this stuff. I mean, I think it's just because she hates Turtle Boy. I think that's 100%. I'm just wondering, what do you think about it?
Well, and it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense because there has to be accountability. So if she's not insisting on accountability, then you have to think it's personal.
I think that's it. And it's funny, she just went after Turtle Boy, and I think in a way she kind of going after us too, because we're doing some of the same stuff Turtle Boy is. We're raising money and giving 50% to Karen Reed. She totally criticized Aiden for doing that, and basically said, he's just about the money. He's just about the money. And I looked at her Twitter, which has 73,000 followers, which is probably her number one asset for promoting her brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed both links are to this expert witness business she has cooking. And I just thought, like, I guess if you want to be an expert witness, the way that you would probably get that business is to be seen on television and to have a big social media following on some place like Twitter with 73,000 followers. So both the links on there are to her expert witness. So I thought, how much do they get paid compared to what Aiden's getting paid? And they say it's average of $500 an hour. She is. She's got her expert witness. And she actually talked about it. And she basically lamented that when experts only get paid $25,000 a case, it's not enough. It's a sad state of affairs when I get 25 grand. So this woman's getting $25,000 per expert witness really case. That's what she's hoping for. At least that's like lowball number. So I asked her, I said, is that fair for you to criticize Aiden when you're promoting yourself and getting much more money? Is that fair? Aren't you a fraud? Aren't you a bullshit artist? Because you're in it for the money. It seems like more than he has, at 25 grand ahead. And she blocked me. Like that was it. Like I had been going after her for months on this Twitter, and she never blocked me. She didn't respond most of the time. But once I brought up that she's making at least 25 grand per expert witness, that was it. That was when I was done. Wow. What do you think about that one, Jennifer?
I prefer expert witnesses who are familiar with procedures and protocols and know how to answer questions about them, but that's just me.
I think she knows how to promote herself on Twitter.
Yeah.
And knows how to block people.
Yeah. I wish I could get paid $25,000 to block people on Twitter.
Unbelievable, right? When we're doing shows, we might get a couple hundred. She's getting $25,000 per case, and she probably get the hotels paid for, and she wants to go after Nick Rocco and go after me and go after Aiden, and it's like no, like it's like the Wendy Murphy too. All those people that show up for Karen Reed at the protest to support her at the courthouse, they're all paid. We're all paid. Did you get paid? Did you show up to the courthouse?
Yeah, I got paid. Yeah.
What'd you get paid?
Yeah. Let me just make it clear. I didn't get paid.
You got to say it clearly to them. They don't understand humor.
I did not get paid.
Yeah.
I paid for my board and my markers and my coffee that I had in my thermos, and nobody paid me.
Do you think anyone got paid to show up there besides like the attorneys?
No.
And the media people, basically. I mean, that was it. The media and the attorneys and the judges and the court people. I mean, None of the protesters got paid, right?
I know a lot of the people who were there protesting. A lot of them, a good number of them, are people who are sitting with me at our select board meetings. None of the protesters got paid to be there.
For an attorney that's practicing law, Windy Murphy, to claim that protesters are being paid to show up for Karen Reed with no evidence, and you knowing the folks who are showing up, I'm knowing some of the people showing up. I haven't seen any evidence of anybody being paid. I mean, are you surprised that someone like that is practicing law in Massachusetts and will like throw up false information on Twitter like that about a case that she's not even involved in?
Mike, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I'm no longer surprised. Sometimes I'm amused, sometimes I'm aghast, but I'm never surprised.
If you got to talk to Windy Murphy about that, like the paid witnesses, what would you say to her directly?
I tell her she missed out. I missed out on my check, you know? I didn't know that there was an option to get paid. I was there because I felt like it was the right thing to do. I was there because I felt like I couldn't be there. So, you know, and knowing the people that were there, I have friends who took time off of work. The first time I was actually off anyway. The second day I had to be in at work a little bit later. But, you know, these are people who took time out of their lives because they think it was the right thing to do. And because someone asked me, you know, what it is about this case that has people in Canton so up in arms. And I said, it's because we all look at her and we think that in the wrong time, wrong place, any one of us could be Karen Reed.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's scary enough to send us all out, you know, with no paycheck to stand outside the courthouse and hold up our signs and, you know, stand outside on our main street in Canton and stand up on our overpasses during Patriots game traffic and wherever it is that we can, because there, but for the grace of God, it could be any one of us.
That's it. I mean, it could be any one of us. It's unbelievable that it's still going on, but this happens a lot. This isn't just an isolated incident either, but this one's salacious. It's pretty obvious. It's in our face. We did get a contribution tonight. We got Kevin MC or Kevin Mick. He sent us $25. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the donation. That means $12.50 goes to the Karen Reed Fund. You are our one donor. I feel like we should like ring a bell for him right now. Came through tonight. He came through early too. That was at like 8:11. Very good timing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. Another $12.50 tonight going to Karen Reed. We'd love more. If people want to donate after, I know a lot of people watch the show afterwards too. It's so funny. Like, it seems like, especially on the live shows on YouTube and Facebook, we get like twice as many views, like right after, like at midnight. Like people start, and as soon as Turtle Boy's over, people are going to come back over here and watch the rest of the show. I know they are. So if you're watching it later, you can still contribute. You can still give money through the Cash App or Venmo. We're collecting money. 50% of the proceeds tonight go to the Free Karen Reed Fund for her defense. And we're trying to get up to $250,000. There's also the big fundraiser coming up, Halloween party. We talked about that tonight.
Seems like it's going to be quite an event.
Oh my God. He's got fog machines. I like that 360 thing too. He's talking 360 video.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, that song, the Tick Tick Boom song.
Yes.
I know that song
because
because
is that Saliva?
Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, it's Scooby-Doo. Okay. I was thinking it might have been that Saliva song.
Yeah, my son was a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
Scooby-Doo. I'm going to look that up.
Now
I want to hear that song.
constantly.
I want to find that song now. Like later on tonight on YouTube, I'll be looking up Scooby-Doo.
Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Tick Boom.
Oh. And
So
then
is
it
there
gets
anything?
stuck in your head. So
Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight? Like I know there's like Facebook group wars going on. People getting mad at each other. I even saw a post going after you on one of the groups.
did
It
you?
just seems like people are
I
forgetting.
haven't seen that one yet.
You haven't seen that one? Oh. But have you seen like kind of the drama going on, like back and forth between the groups and stuff?
Oh
It's just
yeah.
like
Yeah. It's, it's people very much want to be heard. And when they don't feel like they're being heard, they strike out. And a lot of people don't feel like they're being heard right now. And it gets ugly out there. There's some real ugliness in all of those groups. Every single one of them, there's ugliness. There was an argument in Canton Confidential today by two people who were both saying that we shouldn't ban books, but they were arguing with each other regardless. I mean, it's there's a lot of arguing going on. People are just and part of the reason that no one feels heard is because they're all talking over each other. So
social media breeds it. I mean, I think we all need to just calm down a little bit and realize that Sean and Turtle Boy, if they have issues, they'll figure it out. They'll work it out. We don't need to pick sides and create. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I have to say, I'm in both Karen Reed groups.
I'm in both
and in
too.
Canton Confidential and in
I'm in all of them.
new
Yeah.
Canton group.
I'm even in that one. If they keep me there, I don't know. I posted something and then they were pending approval. And then they asked me to do the questions again. I'm like, what? You didn't like my first ones, which were like, the answers were like, did you see the answers I had?
I didn't see them.
Oh, I was like, they're like, how can we make Canton better? I was like, get Chris Albert to pay the pepperoni man.
I used to work for the town once upon a time.
Oh, you did?
I did. And my office was right down the street from D&E. And every once in a while I would walk down there. They had one thing on the menu that I really liked.
What was that?
They make a non-mediocre chicken wrap.
Do they still have it, or do they get rid of that?
I don't know. I haven't been in a while. But when I needed something to eat fast, it was a quick dash down the street. But I don't work for the town anymore, so.
And what did you think about Chris Albert? Twofold. I mean, he sent letters to citizens earlier in the year, basically threatening them, like cease and desist, stop talking about me in public, right?
Yep. And
now he's went to court and tried to get a protection order against Aiden Turtle Boy, and he failed. And what do you think about that? Like, kind of just even doing that? Like, is that what's up with him? What's up with him?
Well, full disclosure, I campaigned for his opponent. I
who should have won?
Who
I would have voted for,
Lisa Lopez.
Yeah.
And campaigned for her, voted for her. Was very sorry that she didn't get elected. A few days after the election, I attempted to start a conversation in the other Canton group, the Everything Canton group, about why it is that we have such voter apathy and how can we get more people out to vote. And I was accused roundly of just nursing sour grapes because my candidate didn't win. And that was when I got the first angry, thinly veiled threat from a fake account on Facebook. I don't know what he's getting out of this. I can't imagine what what he's getting out of being at those board meetings and having all of this vitriol thrown at him. I mean, I can't imagine why. I mean, he made this statement when he was running that he wanted to be on the select board because he loved Canton. And his being there is certainly not helping the town in any way, shape, or form. Outside of, putting aside anything about his qualifications, anything about the tax liens, about the hit and run, about what happened at his brother's house, putting aside any of that, if he loves Canton, wouldn't he want to do what he could to help this get better?
Exactly.
And his being there week after week is just creating this gaping wound that's not gonna heal.
So right. Like people would have much more respect for him if he just said, you know what? I don't think I need to resign for anything I did. He could say this, but due to all the controversy,
Yep.
for the best of the town, the best thing for the town, I'm going to step down and resign and just let things, cool off. And people would have much more respect for him. I don't know why he doesn't do it. You're right.
And I have a lot of respect for the position of the board. I don't necessarily, I'm not talking about the 5 guys that are sitting up there right now, but for the actual position itself. And right now, if I were sitting in one of those seats, I would be embarrassed about what I was bringing to that chair.
Would you privately be asking Chris to resign? If not publicly?
Personally, yes.
Do you
And
think
personally, well, I would do a lot of things differently if I were in one of those chairs.
Do you think any of them are? Do you think any of the 4 of them are saying, hey, Chris, you need to resign, like even privately?
I don't think so.
Have you asked them, like, have you talked to them about that, or did you even get an opportunity to?
I personally have not. I have friends who have met with Tom Theodore and John Connolly, or with Tom Theodore and Mike Loughran. And there's a real disconnect between our perception of what's happening in that room and their perception of what's happening in that room. It would be funny, except that, everything is falling apart. So it's not so funny. They just don't seem to get it.
Has any public official and public even said that they want Chris gone? No, nobody said anything.
No.
It's just so weird. That is weird to me at this point. Like,
it's a united front, and it's a united front that doesn't allow for any kind of question or dissension. It's just, it's weird.
It is weird. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next.
Well,
but it might be kind of slow. I mean, I think the next thing is the upcoming hearings. Tuesday and then the following Tuesday. I mean, that's going to be see what's going on in Canton. See if there's more protests. But I mean, is it just going to continue? Yeah.
A lot of people have asked about recall elections.
Oh yes, tell us about that.
There are rules that say that you cannot put a recall request, a recall in motion until 6 months after someone has taken the office. So we're in October now, which means that we're coming up on 6 months since this particular board was seated. I personally am not working on a recall election. I can neither quite confirm nor deny that someone else might be working on a recall election. There is a movement to pull together a special town meeting in which sort of a town hall style town meeting at which people would have the opportunity to ask questions of the select board and the chief of police that they would be able to answer. Doesn't necessarily mean that they would, but that they would be able to answer. Then the 3 articles on the warrant, I think it's to have that exchange of information, to consider, depending on the response, to take a vote of no confidence, which is a non-binding vote of no confidence
Awesome.
in the board and in the police department.
Wow. That would be amazing.
And if,
When is that? When will that happen? Do you
well,
have any idea of dates, or is that just proposed?
there have to be, in order to call a special town meeting, you need to submit at least, I think it's 200 valid registered voter signatures. So the group is collecting signatures right now. And I can tell you, if anybody who is listening to this wants to sign the petition, there's an email address that there are people who are monitoring it and who are helping to facilitate getting the signatures. There are people who are afraid to sign it.
I bet.
Because signing a petition like this, when it goes into the town clerk's office, it becomes a public record.
Yes, it does.
And so there are people who would be fine, I think, with petitioning the select board, but because the police are included as part of it, there are people who've been very nervous about signing it. We had one person who signed it and then came back later and with a black marker and literally went right straight through her name. The unfortunate thing about that is that it rendered the entire sheet.
You shouldn't have let them do that. You should have said, you know what, too bad. You signed it. Like, because that ruined it. Oh, God.
So
my advice then is to collect 1 signature per sheet. Like, honestly, because you don't want to lose entire pages of signatures. I hope there wasn't like 20 signatures on that page.
No,
I've collected signatures.
Thankfully, there were only like 4 or 5 others, and one of them was the signature of the person who was collecting the signatures.
So that's good.
All right, I found it. It's all one word: Canton Special Town Meeting @gmail.com. So if anybody is interested in signing the petition, who is a registered voter in Canton, if you send an email, there are people throughout the town who have them. We can facilitate your getting the chance to sign it. And the last thing that's on.
Let me say that again. It's Canton Special Meeting @gmail.com.
Canton Special Town Meeting.
Special Town Meeting.
Yep. All one word.
Canton Special Town Meeting @gmail.com. Okay.
Yep. So the last thing that's on the warrant is that, if should the people at the meeting decide not to take a non-binding vote of no confidence, then they can choose to request a third-party audit of the Canton government and of the Canton Police Department. And, you know, if everything is happening the way that it should, people who are doing their jobs well should welcome an audit, because
Exactly.
that's what it will show.
Exactly.
And if you don't want people looking at what you're doing, and, you know, having people look at what you're doing is a pain in the neck. But if you're doing your job correctly, it's a pain in the neck that's going to show that. So that's
I
what's happening now.
I hope it happens. Canton special town meeting at gmail.com.
Yes.
People want to get involved in that. So the recall might happen now, right? In October, is that right? People are gathering signatures. We don't know.
It will, assuming that enough signatures can be gathered. There's a chance that, depending on the timing, if the request for a recall, and not only do you have to have the signatures, but you also have to have a candidate. So if it's within 100 days of a regularly scheduled town election, then it would just get pushed to become part of that election. So next April, both Tom Theodore and Mike Loughran are up for re-election, or their terms are up, whether they decide to run for re-election or not. So there is potential, at this point, likelihood that it would be April before any votes were cast, be they regular election or recall election.
That could be an exciting April.
So,
Sounds
you
like it
know,
might
there
be
are
exciting
5
in April
seats
in
on the
Canton.
board. If that were to happen, there is the potential that there could be 2 3-year terms, 1 2-year term, and 1 1-year term that's up for election.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens if they keep pissing people off. I think that it's gonna happen.
There is that potential.
Is there anything else you wanted to share tonight about anything that's going on, Jennifer?
You know, I just wanted to say thank you to the people who are supporting us here in Canton. And for the people who think that, you know, we should be doing something instead of clutching our pearls. That was my favorite expression that came back to me. You know, don't just clutch your pearls. Well, first off, I don't have any pearls on. And I'm not clutching them. We're doing what we can, but there are things that we can do that are easy to see, like what happened at the meeting last week with the signs and the tape and the chicken in the back corner. And then there are things that take time and happen very much behind the scenes, but just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not happening.
There you go. I love that. I've been doing the same thing with workers. There's so much. It frustrates me too, because people just assume nothing's going on. It's like, no.
Yeah, and that's
There's
certainly
a lot of
isn't.
work going behind the scenes too that you don't know about. You know, you should know about. You should get involved.
We have a lot of very motivated people.
Awesome.
And you know, I was it you who called us the Canton grandmas?
What's I say? Like, it's so, to me, like anyone, like there was that young dude who's a correction officer. After the meeting, he was telling people cope. He's telling a bunch of women to cope.
Yeah.
He was being a dick. It was like, dude, you're a fucking dick. Like, stop being a fucking dick. Have some freaking respect. Like, seriously. He's like, don't get loud on me. You're being a dick. Like, it's like, look who you're talking to. It's a bunch of women. How can you get mad at women like that? I never get that. Like, if a woman shows up to a political event, like the mom shows up, grandma shows up, there should be some respect. Like, I don't get the lack of respect for it.
You know, you were talking about Diana DeZoglio.
Yes.
I can never pronounce her last name, and I always feel bad about it. I was at the Massachusetts State Democratic Convention last weekend. I was a delegate from Canton. and she stood up and spoke and delivered what she had to say in song.
Yeah, she's
sang.
amazing. She can
She
sing.
sang to the
Yeah, she's a
entire
singer.
convention, which was really cool. And
Oh,
she has a
wow.
beautiful voice.
She does.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I've seen her sing at like St. Patrick's Day. She's definitely a good singer.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing.
That's why
That was
I don't get how these dudes, like five dudes, five older dudes, basically.
Mhm.
I'm guessing they're all older than me. Like I'm old now. I think all those dudes are probably, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think at least the majority of them are older than me, no matter what. Like you got five dudes up there and you have all women and you're not going to let them speak. You're not going to show any respect. And then the dudes in the parking lot, the Santa Claus dude and the other dude, the third.
Yeah, well,
Like
Mr. Santa Claus, who stood up and complained about bullying a few weeks before that. So he actually spoke at one of the select board meetings.
I saw that and he
Yeah.
cried about bullying.
Yeah.
I think that it's funny because I looked him up. Peter was a top sales guy for selling TV ads for like Fox 25, Boston 25, and some of these other local TV stations. And I just said, how good of a salesperson could he actually be? Because like the number one rule of sales is don't make yourself look like a hypocrite. Don't lie. He got up there and he did his testimony about bullying, and then he shut up and tried to bully people. I mean, that's not good sales. That's like the worst sales. When you're a fraud, you're not going to sell anything. I mean, that's
I just got a text message from my friend Trisha, who was on your show.
Oh, we know
a few weeks
Trisha. Yeah,
back. Yep.
we talked to Trisha.
And
Trisha's
she said, tell Mike if you can that Trisha says there's a systematic issue of police not following protocol, and that she's asked the question every 2 weeks at the select board meeting, and you can tell Wendy Murphy that. And that there's underreporting, and if there were protocols followed, they would be able to ask general questions and they wouldn't have shut her down. Poor Trisha. She was the next person to speak at the meeting when, not this last meeting,
the
but
one
the
before
last
when they
time we
shut
were
people.
allowed to speak.
Yeah.
She was the next person. She got cut off right then. Then
Again, all women, and you're
Yep.
being rude to women. Like the rudeness too, like just cutting people off, the way that they cut people off. I've been to, like I said, I've done a lot of journalism, a lot of activism throughout the state, mostly cannabis, but I would say I've been to at least 20, maybe even 30 different cities and towns, hearings. And especially watching them online now, we get to watch them on Zoom. I've never seen that. I've never seen like how rude, just very rude. Like usually they have a buzzer or something. Never that. Never. They're so friggin' rude in Canton.
Well, and my biggest concern about that is that if you're busy watching the clock to make sure that you're holding someone to 3 minutes, then you're not listening to what they're saying anyway.
That's why they should have an automatic timer buzzer, just have it go off, and it's ridiculous. And you're so right. And it's like they were ahead of schedule, and there weren't even that many people wanting to speak. It's like I've seen so many city hall hearings where they let 100 people speak. Like they just go on and on and on and on and on. They're limiting to like 15 minutes and 5 speakers or 10 speakers, whatever it is. They're not even like doing the full 9 yards where it's like there's 100 people who are going to speak here.
Our concern about that, the 2 meetings before that, the board chair, Mr. Theodore, had said, well, I think it's important, we can make time to hear everyone. And they had let people, whoever wanted to speak, stand up and speak during that public commenting period. I have other issues with other things that happened at those meetings, but they had allowed the public commenting to go on much further than 15 minutes. At the meeting before that, the public commenting policy was brought up. It was discussed. and it became very contentious, and they made the decision to table the discussion until a different time. The next meeting came, it was back on the agenda. They brought it up. There were people standing up at the microphones waiting to speak. They didn't even look up. They just bulldozed through, passed the vote, went on to the next thing on the agenda, which was about the subcommittee assignments. Again, people standing up, waiting to speak, completely ignored the fact that they were there, bulldozed through, got to the end of the meeting when Mike Loughran commented that, well, the only thing left on the agenda is the public commenting period, and looked like he wanted to throw up as he was saying the words. And then Tom Theodore read the new policy beginning to end, announced that they were holding everybody to 3 minutes, and then just bulldozed through until they just dismissed us all. So it felt very planned. It felt like we were set up. They didn't want to hear what we had to say anymore. So we were set up. And then, as in the middle of all of the confusion that came out of that, was John Conley's second hot mic moment, in which he said, "See, that's what I'm talking about."
Right. Yeah, we saw a lot of signs too, calling that out at the last meeting. Mike Conley.
Hot Mike John.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he didn't quite learn his lesson the first time, and all that the second hot mic moment did was call out the fact that that his apology was just checking a box.
Right.
And, I don't know if they'll ever see this, but I have a message for John Connolly just in case he does. I want him to know that Tony Andriotti would be horribly ashamed of the way that he behaved.
Who is that?
Tony Andriotti was, when I worked for the town, he was my boss. He was a former selectman here in Canton. He was the town treasurer for quite some time. And then for over 20 years, he was the Canton Veterans Agent. And he truly loved this town and always put what was best for the town ahead of his own personal feelings when it came to working for the town. And he wasn't a perfect man, but he was a really incredible guy. And was my very good friend and my mentor, and someone who was incredibly well respected. And he would be so ashamed of the way that this select board has behaved.
I'm sure.
So I'm glad he's not here to see it.
That's a good thing, right?
Anyway, thank you for letting me get that off.
Thank you. Is there anything else you think we should be covering on this, like in terms of future guests and things? Like anyone that we should be speaking to, like even some of the folks who are doing a protest or signature gatherers? Is there anyone that we're missing?
I think that anyone that you might be interested in speaking to about it, I can make that happen for you.
Awesome. So let's talk more about that with next guests,
absolutely.
next shows, because I want to cover much more on this too.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
We appreciate the support and the knowing that there are people behind us, because this isn't easy.
No, it's not.
But it's really important. So we're doing it anyway.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we'll be in touch soon, and we'll keep seeing what's going on. I'm gonna go check out Turtle Boy too myself.
Thanks
right now.
so much, Mike.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Good night.
Good night. We're the Young Jurks. My name is Mike Crawford. If you're watching, please subscribe, follow, like in the comments, all that stuff. Make sure you share it with your friends. And again, you can give money tonight. 50% of all our donations on the Cash App or Venmo go to the Karen Reed Defense Fund. It is Mike Crawford 1, I believe, on I don't want to make, let me just make sure because I got it right here. Yeah, it's Mike Crawford 1 on Venmo. Mike Crawford TYJ. No, excuse me, I screwed that up. Cash App is Mike Crawford 1. I always screw this up. Mike Crawford 1 on Cash App. Mike Crawford TYJ on Venmo. I should get them the same. I never planned on doing this fundraising stuff. It's just funny how you choose things and it works. I hope people, if you want to donate, you can donate that way. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank everyone for calling in. Nick Rocco, Jennifer, who's still here. I think I'm missing someone else. Oh, yes, Eric. We talked about the cannabis issue. I also wanted to throw up this here. This was another letter in support of Shannon O'Brien earlier this week that came from some science-based group, Jeff Rawson's group. They're talking about supporting Shannon O'Brien. They sent it to the treasurer this week. You can also send letters if you want to support Shannon O'Brien to the treasurer. I think that's definitely a good thing to do if you want to support Shannon O'Brien. If you want to support, obviously, Karen Reed, there's a bunch of ways you can do so. But freekarenreed.net is the website. There's also the event that we talked about earlier tonight with Nick Rocco. If you're following us, please subscribe to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those places, iTunes, and Spotify especially too. I want to thank you all for supporting us. We'll see you next time. Mike Crawford, check it out.